episode of Beef Garage. I'm tired today, so I'm feeling under the weather a little bit, but we're going to be all right. Today we're going to actually be doing some tear down on the truck. Finally going to get to see some work actually done on the truck and not me just blabbering the whole time. Today's project, we are going to be removing the bed. Once again, we're stripping all the body off of this thing back down to the frame so we can get all the body blasted, all the rust cleaned up, and then get a fresh coat of paint on everything, put it all back together. Previous episode I told you that the bed is actually pretty much trash. The only thing we're saving off of that's going to be the tailgate and the inner wheel wells, because they are updated. The inner wheel wells are newer, aftermarket. They're actually a 4-inch wider wheel well to fit the tires that I put underneath the back of this thing. And also when we do the new bed, we're going to fabricate up a new fuel filler neck. The way I did it before was somewhat creative and somewhat ghetto. So, but it was direct and to the point, and it worked well. So that's really all that counts at the time. So we're gonna fab that up too. So today's episode, you're going to get to see how to remove a bed, essentially from a 1970 Chevy C10 short bed fleet side. So let me just pull you in a little closer. We'll give you a quick walk around how we're going to do this. As you'll see on the truck, I've already taken the front glasses out, cowl panels off. I did remove the grill already and the front roll pan that used to be on there. That stuff I do have in another episode that I did record. The only thing I didn't really record is taking out the glass. The front windshield was broke. So we just took that out as barbarically as possible so as not to make a mess. Weren't worried about that. And also the rear glass is good. I'm not going to reuse it. It's over there on the stand. But that was just simple. Cut out the rubber seal, slide the glass out, don't break it. Pretty simple. We've started stripping down some of the interior already too. Some of the dash stuff's all been taken out. Once again, that rust up there is our number one concern going into this rebuild. And then just kind of some of the door panel stuff off. They're real simple, just simple screws. Carpet stuff, the channel pieces that go in here, sill plates, all that stuff's off, but it's all just simple screws, so you're not really missing anything in any of that. But the bed coming off, what we're going to do is, I've already taken the tailgate off. You can see the tailgate's already off. Back bumper's already been removed, and I did already disconnect the wiring and take the lights out. Again, that's all simple stuff. Just kind of, take the screws out, disconnect the fittings, and then there is a plug under here. For those who do not know, this plug here actually disconnects your rear harness from the harness that runs up along the frame and connects to the harness up inside the truck. So once you disconnect this part, this whole lighting harness for the back has been disconnected. On this truck I do have a rear battery mount as well back here. So what we're going to do, these bolts that hold these wheel wells in, I'm going to sneak those out from underneath. I'm going to jack the truck up, sneak these bolts out so we can pull the wheel wells out. There is technically, I believe, 8 bolts that hold the bed down. However, I only used 6 when I put it together. You'll see there's one here, one missing there, and then up here we've got one here, and where's my other one? Up in here somewhere. Oh, here it is here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, and then these 2 are we did not use because there is a brace that goes across there, and when I relocated the gas tank underneath, that brace has got to be cut out to make room for the gas tank. So I just didn't use those bolts. So we're just going to take 6 bolts out. We're going to disconnect this fuel filler, make sure the wiring harness is disconnected, and take these bolts out, pull these wheel wells off, and believe it or not, that's pretty much all it is. And then this bed's just going to lift right off. These things aren't that heavy. If you have someone that can help you with it, me and my good friend Chris up north, we actually put this bed on ourselves. You can usually just grab one guy on one side, one guy on the other, pick it up, walk it right off. You know, obviously, if you're doing it by yourself, there's other, you know, other methods you can use. A hoist, you can use different ways. But I think Dad's going to be here later to give me a hand. If not, I got my stepson. So once this thing's disconnected, I'm going to roll it out back, lift it off, and that's going to take care of that. One more project done. So see you shortly. So I'm not sure where I lost it. We're going to try that again. So down here we have our wiring harness. We snaked our wiring harness out. That was the first thing I did. I told you earlier I disconnected all that. So the wiring harness has been snaked out. For those who don't know, I actually like to use these here furniture pads. These are old furniture pads. You can get these at Harbor Freight, or as they call it, Hobo Freight. You can go to Hobo Freight and get these things, and they make it nice to lay on. I know they make creepers, but for me, I actually like these little pads. Nice and easy to lay on a garage floor, and they keep everything nice and padded, easy to slide around on. But there's the wiring harness for the back. We done snaked that out. If you look up inside, you'll see there's just some brackets and stuff that it hangs on up inside there. So we got all those out, snaked that out. We are going to reuse that harness. Up there you'll see that's where it actually plugs to, and that's the plug that actually runs the harness up to the main cab. There is a ground strap there. Once again, I make sure on these old trucks everything's well grounded. Old trucks, old cars, the grounding system is important, or else your lights ain't going to work right. You're always going to have some kind of stupid little electrical issue. So we're going to get that ground strap off next, and then the fuel filler neck, we're going to get that off next, and then I'll jack it up and we'll work on getting them bolts out of those wheel wells, as well as the bolts out of the that are holding the truck to the frame, and then that'll take care of that. So I just want to also bring you up to speed that here in Beeves Garage, we are now officially handicap accessible. So if you stop by in your wheelchair, or you're even blind, we do have Braille here, so you can even read that if you're blind. And yeah, another beautiful sunny day here in Florida. And we go over and check the thermometer. And yeah, right around just under 80 degrees in here. A little breeze blowing. It's a little sticky here today. We've got some humidity rolled in. So, but that's all right. We got a breeze blowing like always. So yeah, wiring harness is out. We're going to start on the ground strap. Get rid of the ground strap, fuel filler neck, jack it up, and then onto the wheel wells. Okay, so you can see I got one wheel well off. There he is right there. So what you'll see is there's bolts that go all the way around the outside, and then mine weren't connected because when I put this together, these were already rusted out. But when you do these the right way, there are threaded holes in the bed, and then you'd have bolts that go through there that thread into those. So that would connect that up against that side, and then these here are your outside bolts that go along there. And then what those are, they're a shoulder bolt like this here. So you've got a square, they got a little square shoulder in there. So it goes in there, little button head, locks in like that, and then you put your bolts on from the bottom. So luckily, because this truck was already, bed was already trashed when I started working with this thing, I didn't have to put these in. If these were in, you'd have to come up, take the wheel well off, come up through the bottom and get those out. You'll see this one over here still in, and you can see daylight in there because that was never connected, but it was good enough to run down the road and cover my wheels and tires, so we were good. But now we're taking this thing apart, throwing the bed away. We're going to do this right the next time. So when we do the reinstall on the new bed, you'll see I'll have to come up under here, and those will help tie that bed together, and it'll pull everything. It really pulls the room together, as they say. So there's that one. That one's out. Now with that one out, you can see how much tire we got tucked up under this thing. That is, like I said, that's a 20 by 10 wheel. But the tread pattern, that's a 12-inch tread pattern on that guy. I don't even remember the size of them. They are 285 50/20s. So 285s, yeah, 285s. So with that 285 on there, we've got a 12-inch tread pattern tucked up underneath the back of this thing. So that's that. Now let's get that other wheel well off, and then we can start getting these bolts off here and get the bed off. Well, as you can see, we got the truck jacked up. I leave the jack under. I've also got 2 jack stands under there. Safety first, always. Even though those are Harbor Freight jack stands and a Harbor Freight jack, you always take your life into your hands when it comes to Harbor Freight stuff, so they say. But I've never had no issues. And yep, jack stand, 1 on each side, right underneath the frame, as well as the jack, and we left the wheels and tires on. So worst case scenario, the jack gives out, jack stands give out, I still got wheels and tires. I should just lose a couple teeth, worst case scenario. And voila! Through the magic of editing, the other one is off. So we've got 2 wheel wells gone. Only thing left now is underneath and getting these bed bolts out, and then the bed should be ready to come off as long as I didn't forget nothing. The beauty of editing is it probably took me about 20 minutes. I had 1 or 2 of them bolts that got stuck and wanted to fight me a little bit, but you don't have to sit through all that. I can edit all that out and blink blink, gone. That's how YouTube works. Alright, and that's it. Bed bolts are out. Once again, through the editing of YouTube, you didn't have to watch the process, but this is what they look like. These little guys here, once again, they got that shoulder on them, and once the bed's off, I'll show you, but they run right down through these holes, and the square shoulder locks right in. Nut comes up from the bottom. There's a 9/16 nut washer and lock washer goes on the bottom. Once again, I had 6. I believe there's supposed to be 8, but I left those 2 out because there's gas tank underneath. But at this point, the bed is ready to come off. You can see this thing's pretty light. I pretty much picked this up with 1 hand, so it's ready to come off. I got room out in the backyard where we're going to go ahead and drive the truck around, pull the bed off, and then I can show you after the bed is off. I can show you what the frame looks like under the back of this thing. It's all kinds of fancy colors and dirty and greasy and grimy. There ain't a whole lot of fancy to look at. But you can at least see where the bed bolts go in, where the bed supports are. You can see where I remounted the gas tank, and I can show you some of what we're going to redo on that while we got this thing apart. So there's all that. That hurt. Alright, so we got the do a little bit of heavy lifting. We got the bed off, so you can see now what that looks like. Bed's gone, dirty frame. We're going to get that all cleaned up. My crappy exhaust system that I ran. So we got that all done. Got the old man here. Say hello, old man.
Hey.
Hey. While we were out there, we went ahead and took the hood off as well. So that's all out in the back, stored away. We're going to go ahead and pull these fenders off now, and then that'll probably be it for today. But let's see how we do with that there, huh?
Pull that seat out there.
Well, yeah, the door's got to come off too. Fenders and doors. So we'll see how that goes. Fenders are pretty simple. I kept the, when I rebuilt this thing, I didn't put the wheel wells back in. So I don't have to mess with those. It's just a couple bolts up top, down the bottom, and then over here. I don't need no stinking wheel wells. That's right. Yeah. Yep, more weight. That's all it is. So yeah, we'll go ahead and pull them fenders off and see how this thing goes. Go ahead. You give me shit about, huh?
Why you put this Ford solenoid on this Chevy truck? Well, I know people want to know what it's on.
Inquiring minds want to know. Okay, so yes, I put a Ford starter solenoid on my Chevy, and I do this on all my old Chevys because, one of the things Ford got right is putting that solenoid up on the firewall, up on the fender, away from the heater of the engine, away from the heat of the exhaust. Chevy's got a bad habit for having heat soak in their solenoid down there. So by putting that remote solenoid up there, it makes starting easier and hot starts easier. Also makes it easier for if you're adjusting valves, something like that. You can put your bump starter right there. Boom, boom, bump start, bump start. You're not trying to climb down inside there to screw with it. If the solenoid goes bad, boom, it's right there. You make it, you take it off. It's just so much easier. for tuning. It's easier for changing. It's easier for hot starts. So yes, everybody gives me shit about why I got that Ford starter solenoid on my Chevy. Now you know why.
Now, Stu, I noticed you got that big old fancy distributor back here.
Yeah.
You got plenty of room. That thing just fit right in there like that.
Yes. No, actually it didn't.
Actually, it didn't.
No, actually it didn't. I actually use CPP motor mounts, and the motor mounts I use, their frame mounts, actually move the engine 3 inches farther forward. So with those mounts in there, it gives you no clearance issues back along that firewall. So a couple guys gave me shit about that because performance reasons. They always want to move the motor back for weight transfer, all that fun stuff. But I actually moved it a little farther forward. Running the electric fan, I don't have any issues with clearance there, and I have no issues with clearance on the firewall. Makes it nice and easy.
Okay.
Anything else you want to point out on this while I'm here? Go Birds, huh?
Well, yeah, go Birds. And you see on here it says Chevrolet. Anyway, okay.
Well, there's a lot of parts on this truck that are, I got Ford parts, I got Universal parts, there's probably even some made in China stuff on here, I'm sure.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, Chevy, it is what it is. We're not brand specific here.
Okay.
Oh, and I got that fancy, you see that fancy, huh?
Yeah, piece of glass.
Yeah.
That's
Hey, it hasn't given me problems yet. That there is the clear view. That thing's nice. Little $100 accessory. That's nice.
What's this white
Heat
plate
shield?
on there?
Heat shield. That's there for keeps down on heat soaking the carburetor. Living here in Florida, boy, it gets hot in the summertime. If you live in New Jersey or New York, you should stay up there. Don't come down here.
No matter what.
No matter what, don't come down here. And yeah, that just cuts down on heat soak.
I mean, back in the old days, we called that vapor lock.
Yeah, vapor lock, heat soak,
We used to put wooden clipped clothes hangers on your fuel line to keep it away from the block. Called that vapor lock.
Yeah. Okay, there's that. And now we got that fender off, and we're gonna pull that guy off next. All right, that pretty much wraps it up for the day. Doors are all, we got doors off, fenders, hood, bed. As far as sheet metal, we got gonna clean up some stuff back here and get the interior out, and then we'll be ready to start pulling the cab off this thing. Got my stepmom Karen here. She's ready to take a ride. She's ready to fire it up and get this thing back on the road again. So yeah, there's that. Doors are over here. Pop's helped me out today, and that's going to do it for today. Next up, we're probably going to, like I said, clean up the back, clean up the front, get the interior out, and then see about getting this cab off of here. So thank you for today, and stay tuned for the next episode.